The city is silent and ruined, as if the world forgot it. Dust hangs in the air and old signs creak once, then stop. Nothing here feels alive, only waiting. The emptiness itself is a warning. Owen moves through rubble on pure habit, scanning like he still has a unit behind him. His cough is getting worse, but he hides it from himself. He tells himself he is scavenging, yet he keeps looking for meaning. The ruins echo like they are not empty. He finds a doll in the dust and picks it up despite the chill it puts in his spine. It feels wrong in his hand, like a clue he never wanted. He pockets it anyway. Regret lands immediately, heavy as stone. Inside, life is frozen mid-motion, cupboards open, plates shattered, dust and sunbeams. A scrape travels through the walls and stops too cleanly to be win. The silence after it is worse. Something here is patient. Below ground, the air turns wet and metallic. A tall shape waits where the tunnel bends, too still to be natural. The lights flicker and the space feels tilted. Fear arrives as certainty, not panic. Faith steps out of shadow with calm that cuts. She warns Owen the presence leaves no witnesses for long. He doesn't trust her, but he trusts the tunnel less. Their alliance forms from necessity, not warmth. The lights die in a chain and the building exhales darkness. Owen buckles, coughing hard, while something closes in without rushing. A wet sound slides through the corridor. His scream disappears into concrete. Night turns the city into a fog maze. Shrieks cut through the blocks, then stop as if listening. Every alley looks like a trap. Silence is camouflage, not comfort. Avery waits in an alley with her rifle and a tiny light. The shrieks return and her body freezes, then obeys. A shape darts through fog and she fires. She runs because hesitation is a death sentence. Screechers slide out of the fog like hunger with bones. Milky eyes catch stray light and torn clothes sway on sharp frames. They wait instead of rushing, savoring fear. The city echoes their sound like a warning. Faith appears at the last second and pulls Avery into cover. Claws scrape the door as Faith gives quiet orders. Avery realizes she's been saved by a stranger who moves like a soldier. Faith warns that running will not be enough forever. In a stairwell, Avery finally checks her cheek and sees a thin scratch. The stories about scratches slam into her mind. She tightens the bandage and forces herself upright. Fear doesn't get to steer. A boarded house offers shelter that feels like a dare. The porch sags and weeds swallow the steps. No lights show inside, but predators learn to hide. They go in anyway. Faith clears rooms in silence, then nods once. She admits she saved Avery because she recognized a fighter. Avery doesn't know if that's comfort or warning. They agree to move together at first light. Headlights bloom through fog and voices circle the house. Trident steps into the yard with a camera and a grin. He demands a photo like it's currency and laughs like the night is his. Avery hears more boots moving in the dark. Avery steps onto the porch and warns them back off. Trident taunts her, calling her alone. The lie is the point, and she knows it. The first shot cracks the air and the night turns savage. A battered snapshot skids across the floor, Crowbar smiling in a dead world. The picture is grief turned into leverage. Someone screams his name and rage floods the yard. Avery realizes the photo is proof she cannot lose. Faith drags a bike out and shouts for Avery to move. Gunfire and shrieks tangle in the fog as the yard collapses into chaos. Avery grabs the photo and runs. They vanish into the trees before the night finishes feeding. Tomahawk studies fresh tracks with predator patience. He doesn't chase like an amateur, he follows like a mission. The scratch on Avery's face becomes the detail that changes everything. He moves into the trees without making a sound. At a creek, Avery scrubs her face and stares at the scratch like it's a countdown. Her mind fills with fever and teeth and turning. She tightens the bandage until it hurts. If she's infected, every hour matters. A lantern glow appears like a miracle that might bite. Clarence opens the door smiling, offering food and water like it's still normal. Avery keeps her rifle close, hunger arguing with fear. Faith watches Clarence and sees grief under the humor. Faith eats with distrust in every muscle. Clarence talks too much, filling silence with shaky jokes. Avery stays ready for the moment kindness flips. For a few minutes, a spoon on a chipped bowl almost feels like peace. Outside, Faith goes pale and presses a hand to her stomach. She finally admits she's pregnant, voice steady but eyes terrified. The news turns survival into a clock with 2 heartbeats. Faith says she cannot die yet. That night, headlights cut through trees and laughter circles the house again. Screecher shrieks answer from the dark, drawn to the noise. The house becomes a target from every direction. Fear returns with familiar footsteps. Tomahawk appears in the rain, silent and certain. He hits Faith hard enough to steal her breath and speaks close to her ear. Avery hears it and turns fury into action. Tomahawk isn't here for fun, he's here to take. Clarence steps forward with a weapon and a shaking laugh that sounds like grief. The yard erupts in gunfire and screaming, then goes strangely quiet. Bodies drop, and the fog swallows the aftermath. There is no time to mourn, only to flee. An abandoned gas station rises from the highway like a bad refuge. Cracked pumps and a torn sign promise thin shelter. Inside, the air reeks of old fuel and dust. A storage door waits in the back like a secret. Faith cleans her hands and acts like a medic because someone has to. She tells Avery to stop apologizing for surviving. Then she admits she's terrified of what the scratch might mean. Shared fear becomes their strongest bond. In the storage room, reflective eyes watch from behind shelves. The air feels heavier near it, like breathing costs extra. It isn't a Screecher and it isn't human. The place itself feels wrong around it. Avery opens the door and darkness seems to lean toward her. She fires, but the sound feels swallowed. Something slams her aside and the lights flicker. She sees the eyes closer and runs because courage can't fix the unreal. A hospital corridor appears under flickering fluorescent light, tiled and cold. The air smells like bleach and old fear. Somewhere, distant screams echo through halls. Containment feels like a gift that still bites. Faith wakes restrained behind glass, throat raw, heart racing. A stern doctor calls her immune and says the baby changes everything. Faith demands out and hears Locke's answer instead. She stares through the glass and realizes it's a new cage. Somewhere beyond, Avery runs and Tomahawk hunts.